What's up, guys? This is the Bama Dog, and today we've got a BAK Industries Revolver bed cover for the Nissan Frontier. Not the old one, the old body style, but the new cool looking one. This bad boy. 2022 Nissan Frontier PRO-4X. Good looking truck, and we're about to put a cover on the back of this thing. This one's got the rails, spray-in bed, and a couple little things I put in here to keep the bed extender from scraping the bottom and tearing up the rubber there. That's a whole different story. But anyway, I've got my bed extender. There's the little brackets there on the ends here and right there. But we're gonna cover this bad boy up here in the garage tonight because it is cold outside. So in the box, got some bumpers here, got some weather stripping. Weather stripping goes on the head of the bed. We got some brackets here, 4 little ones, 2 bigger ones, and the hardware to kind of connect it underneath. We got the rails left and the right. We got some straps there which will hold down the tonneau cover whenever it's in the upright position. We got the instruction manual, and of course I've still got this wrapped up here, which came in the box. Keeping it wrapped up, it'll be a lot easier to pick up and put on the truck, so I'm leaving the cellophane on there. And there's the big old box that it comes in, packed up really well. You can see the little areas in the middle there where it's stored, and on the ends it's cushioning with basically just where the hardware goes. Okay, I'm on the back side of the truck here. One thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to clean off this ledge right here so you can put either this stuff or this stuff. And what I'm looking at on this little thin rail, it's not as thick as some of these other trucks, is at the top. This one with the red bottom, it's a little wider than the metal itself. I think this one right here, the thicker version, is going to stick on better. It's about the same width. So I'm going to use this instead of this, which is what they also provided. So use one or the other. In this application, we're going to use this. This is long enough to cover the whole thing, and now I'll have to cut off some on the edge. I have wiped it down. Mine was a little dirty here. Just wipe it down really good, get all the dust off, and then I'm about to go over it with an alcohol cloth to make sure it's completely clean. Let that dry, and then we'll put this on. All right, that may have been the easiest part of the installation. You can see right here the little ledge. It's about the same width as the foam here. When you put it down, just make sure you don't stretch it. Just as you pull off the backing down there, as you pull it off, just lay it flat and press down. It goes all the way across there till the very end, and then just cut you off a piece right at the end, and you should have about that much left. Next step here is to put this rail on the passenger side. So we're going to put it on this edge down here, and what they say is to put this little head portion. If you have a drop-in bed on the end of your bracket here, take that little rubber thing off. If you don't have a drop-in bed, they say leave it there, so do what works best for you. But basically, this section right here is going to go up against the dark section right there on the side of your bed. So you just place it up here like this, like that. Push it all the way forward to where the rubber meets the front there, and then we're gonna bolt it down underneath. I'm gonna hand tighten it with one of those. All right, I got the rail up here. As you can see, things pushed all the way to the end there, and we've got our clamp. If you look back up in there, it's kind of hard to see with the light, but the back side is as far up as it'll go, and you can see the bottom has the little lip going inside, and it does have a little bit of clearance above the rail system. Next, we're going to put the strap on right here, but the only way to get it on would be to put it on from the back side, since it literally will not fit right here by itself, so you have to slide it on from the rear. All right, we've got the strap clamp torqued down 10 foot-pounds side by side. So that's kind of what we're looking like right here. That's all the way up to the top with the pad included. This top part's been pressed down while we were getting this torqued. So And I put the strap going up because once the thing is rolled up, it's going to come up and then over and back around on the back side. So I went ahead and put my strap aimed towards the top instead of the bottom, so that way it doesn't pull this washer whenever you actually strap it up to the top of the truck, or to the over the top of the bed cover. All right, we're going to find a spot in the middle, slide the next bracket along the same route that you did this one with the strap. Same thing applies. And I will say that these right here do not really clamp up as high as I thought they would. That rear bracket does go as high as it will, but this bottom piece still has to go in this little groove. But having said that, you can see right there, it only goes up about one louver, one little line there gets under the hook on this one. So, but it is holding it down, it's tight, and we're going to have 4 total on this side. All right, we've got one small problem here at the very end. The instructions say to mount this final clamp here about 12 inches from the rear tailgate. And if we do a 12 inches from the end of the tailgate right here, 12 inches is really closer to here. It's about where that 4th little dimple is. Right now we've got it about 6 inches out. And the only reason I did that was because this thing, the other clamp is a little longer. It will not fit up in here above this rail like these. These are a little shorter, squattier. That one's a little bit longer, so that way you can get up a little higher and clamp it in. So I might be calling back tomorrow, BAK Industries, real truck, and see if we can leave it right there. The good news is that the anchor points here that you can put in this little system, you can unscrew those all the way. They'll fit right in any place and go straight in. They don't have to be in from the rear. And the other good news is that this thing can only be put in from the front. And there is room all the way down to the front to take this out, because it's got 2 points here. It won't even come out this side. So putting this bracket here on a Frontier looks like it will be okay, even though it does block right here. And it's not 12 inches out. So I will leave that here at 6 inches for now. I think as long as this thing is clamped down, I think that's the most important part. So having this passenger side done, we've got 2 up front, 1 with the strap, 1 towards the middle, and 1 at the rear. And this thing here will just slide and go back where I need it to go. So that's where we're at so far. If we push down this little lever right here, you'll see the whole thing kind of comes down to a little locking mechanism. So everything there's good, and pull it down to spec. We're going to do the same thing now to the driver's side. That way each side matches. All right, we've got both rails installed now, driver's side and the passenger side. Testing the rails here, you got your locking mechanism. Everything's good there. Everything's good. I went ahead and rechecked the torques, make sure everything is there is good. Got your straps there at the end. The next step is to put on the cover and attach it to the front. All right, once you get this beast up here, you want to put it on the rail, kind of roll it forward. It's kind of rolled up backward, so you'll want to start unrolling it and roll up the back until it kind of comes up to where it is now. You'll slide it up, and the instructions say right here that the vinyl should be even with the rail. So if you look straight across there, this vinyl and that rail should be lined up, which means you're going to have this extra rubber piece basically keeping all the water out all the way down the end there. So it kind of pops up a little bit. What you do, you're going to pop this up, get underneath there, and you're going to slide those bolts in here, and they're going to go right through there. And then you'll basically keep it loose a little bit, align everything up and down. You can kind of read the instructions, kind of go through that. You want to make sure everything is smooth as it goes down the rail, and that these little metal pieces right here don't start clipping the side of your rail. If it is, you need to start pushing it that way, or align the whole thing over in a way which it does not happen. All right, I've got the cover on all installed now. I'm not going to say that it was the easiest thing in the world getting these things lined up just right, so these little metal pieces on the side don't clip your rail. I had to adjust it a little bit here and there, unroll it, roll it, unroll it, roll it, probably 3 times to make sure everything was set correctly, because you don't want to tighten up those things up there, the little bolts at the top. You do not want to have to undo those, because those things were tight. I think they're like lock nuts. So anyway, operation is pretty easy. Just pull this down. I should be able to do it on one side, but I'm operating with one hand here. You push it open. Use my trusty step right here. Climb right up. And just like you've seen in many of the other videos, it rolls up just fine. Here there's no clanging on the side, no scraping. Everything is lined up. And you just use your straps here. Pretty self-explanatory here. Stick it in right sideways, twist it, stays in place. Here's something that I did notice though. You latch these in, make sure you use both of them. It might be good to kind of leave a little bit of slack in this. If you push it too far and then try to tighten these up really hard, you are going to have a lot of pressure pulling up on this as it tries to unwind. So you might want to leave it kind of where it just kind of feels good, and then just tighten it in that one spot. Otherwise you're going to have a lot of pullback on your 2 tie down points, or yoke points there. So the only thing left to do is put the little bumpers on the front here, so if it does roll forward it doesn't hit the glass or do damage to the cab. I will do that a little later. Not too difficult, but wish there was some place to put these little straps other than just hanging here. Maybe I can hook them up to a little, in the Frontier you got a little thing in there. Maybe I can, I don't know, I might figure out something. Anyway, put this here, roll it all the way to the end, and it can be closed either with the tailgate up or down. We'll go ahead and close it. Put this down right here. And there you go. So let's try it the other way. Looks like it's just slightly trying to fit underneath there. It looks like it actually chipped off a piece of my bumper right here. Chipped it off right there on this side too a little bit. Looks like that is from the bar on the sides. So looks like there may be a dremeling about to happen right here, as it actually just damaged my truck. So this little corner right here, you see where it kind of nicked it. I'm gonna have to Dremel that down a little bit, but yeah, it looks good so far. And you can get a hair dryer like it says and kind of smooth that down. Gonna wipe it down after I'm all done. Still has some of the packaging, little white things in there, but overall it's a good looking tonneau cover for this awesome looking truck. Just got to get these this part on the end fixed. Guys, I just wanted to give you an update here. We've got a nice sunny day. I was able to actually get this thing fully installed. As you can see right here, looks great. Everything's flush. Makes the truck really pop. Really looks good here. So I'm going to show you the mod I did in just a sec. At the ends here, you can see this little flap kind of hangs over the bulkhead there, so you're not going to get any water on the inside if any gets in. It would be on the sides if you were going through maybe a high pressure car wash, but other than that, I don't think there's going to be a lot of water getting underneath that little lip right there. Like I said, if you put it in correctly and you press down while you install the brackets underneath, you should be good to go. As far as the back goes, just want to give you guys an update what I did here. All right, so what I've got here, pop the trunk open. See, everything looks really good here. I've got a bed extender underneath here. Okay, so everybody knows how to work these. You pull the thing down, pops right up, and it rolls over all the way to the end. Kind of going over that. My modification here, as you can see, the bed extender, the Nissan OEM version, fits right underneath there. Still has maybe a couple inches to spare right there. But what I had to do was this little miraculous thing, because what happens is when you close the tailgate right here, you can see the top of the tailgate actually is where this thing would be, and this end right here, about that much of it, has a part that pokes out at the bottom, so it ends up taking a chunk out of the top of your tailgate. So what I did was I put it back a little further, because when you close it shut, it's actually going to go further. If you press it, you can see it goes a little bit further than where it stops here, and I didn't want to risk it continuing to damage that one little area. So what I did was I used a Dremel tool, and you get one of these little puppies here. You get your Dremel, it's the metal version, and I basically just cut right here to a point, and then I cut right here to a point, took that little piece off, and then I took a Dremel with this, the stone, and I kind of rounded off that corner right here and kind of went along the edge right there, and then I kind of get along this little bottom edge and then the top edge right here, just to kind of round it off and smooth it out a little bit, so you don't get any wild shards of metal in you or something that's really sharp on the corners. So that's kind of what I did, and I did that on both sides. It's driver's side, passenger side looks very similar. So, and the only other thing that I'm not sure if it's done correctly here, you have to close this completely. On a Frontier, at least what I can tell, when you do this, and you're going to see that it hits it slightly, but it fits underneath there and it will lock in place just fine. You can't get in, everything's good. However, you pop this up right here, you close the tail first, and then you try to close this, it's not going to close down all the way, because the little white clips underneath can't get low enough to engage and snap in place. Now I don't know if these rails were lifted, maybe, I don't know, maybe another 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch maybe, I'm not real sure what height would be necessary, then it would be high enough to where this thing would actually latch. But for right now, it is not low enough to engage in the little white clips. Those little white clips are right inside there. Once you get here, I don't know if that sun is kind of blinding you or not, but you can see the little white clips right there. It's got to go low enough, and this, when it's on top of the tailgate, does not allow for that. So something to keep in mind, that at least for me and for now, this thing has to be closed before the tail. That is all I've got. Like I said, once I got it all done, finished it out, like I said, I may paint the ends of these black, since I've got a little silver on the end there. Put a little bit of a textured Krylon black paint, close it up. But all in all, I mean, this truck, I mean, it really looks good. Little endpoints, little tie down spots here. Had it in the sun today, kind of let it get you guys to have a good picture. So this is the Nissan Pro-4X, the 2022, and this is the BAK Revolver X4S. Good looking cover. Just had to make a modification to make it work so it wouldn't tear up my truck a little bit. So anyway, maybe I did call BAK Industries and let them know what the issue was, and I think they're going back to design to see if there's anything they can do to fix that. By the way, these rails are pushed up as far as they will go forward, and there is a little pad at the front in which you can remove, but even if that's removed, I still don't believe it fixes this issue, because there's still a bigger chunk here than there's a pad in the front. So the only way to fix this would make the rail shorter or make the rail higher, or at least this part on the side there. So I wanted to give everybody a really quick update here. It's been about a month since I made my installation video, and I was about to make it go public and realized I need to give an update to what is going on. I did get reply from BAK Industries. They sent me a couple of Shim Kits here, service kit, and not sure about what these universal part numbers are for. It does show that certain trucks can be used for each of these. Basically what this does is that if you're rail is not 100% perpendicular at 90 degrees, then you can angle it left or angle it right depending on the I guess the vertical angle of your truck. For this truck right here, it's perpendicular, so a shim is not needed. And last I showed you guys, you know, I showed you about the part I dremeled off and how the back would not shut. After about a month, if I guess being in the closed position, maybe it might kind of molded itself, because at this point I can roll it back with the tail up, and at this point it will shut and it will lock in place. So thank goodness that ended up working out. I don't have to, you know, close the back before I do either one really. I can close the top after the bed is closed. And as far as these shim kits that BAK sent me, they just sent them. I'm not real sure what for. I didn't ask for them. They sent them, I guess, thinking that it may help with something here, maybe to lift up this piece here. But I will say that it really didn't need lifting. It's just this end here just needed to be modified a little bit. So other than that, everything about the bed cover's been great for the last month. Still looks great. Operates just like it should. It doesn't leak. And I would definitely buy another one and would recommend it. If you have a Frontier, you just need to be wary of the back side of it, and hopefully it'll work out for you guys. So for now, signing off from the Bama Dog, and let's end it with a big Roll Tide. Roll Tide.